think I'll be fine. I think we good. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Shout out to the chat room. Shout out to the people in my Cash App. I'm gonna be shouting y'all out in a minute. You feel me? Shout out to the people who in class up in here learning. I always said I told you I was gonna save the first 10 to 20 minutes for people who want to call in and talk about this before I even get started. Press one. Don't be calling me in my pastime, my off time. Call me now, as Miss Cleo would say. Now is the perfect time because guess what? You're not gonna disrupt nothing. Showing respect to the show. Press one. It's some great information all over the place. Shout out to the moderators, of course. Elijah, what up with it? Todd, my guy, what's up with it? Oh, Tosh and Todd, and right after each other. Well, shout out to you guys. Irish King, you must be new here. What up, Timothy Pittman? Max, what up with it? Highly favored, Tyron Crockett. Let's see who up in here before I put this nice little film on. It's been a beautiful kind of week and a half of just information, and I'm just gonna keep it flowing. I'm just gonna keep it flowing. You feel me, Mitchell? Shout out to Mitchell. I see you, champion. What's up, man? My man Mitchell and the jokesters are in. Shout out to you guys in the back. Let me see. Yes, Sudak, we learning, taking major. Now, who is we? You don't come up in here talking about we. You talk as an individual and you show yourself approved, sir. You sit down in the background, Fletcher. Talking about we, what we doing. Fletcher always coming with that bullshit. What we doing? We press one. No, you ain't doing shit. I'm not falling for that. Listen, hey, I've been doing this a long time. I've been teaching for quite some time, Fletcher. I know I look like a Democratic Negro like yourself, but I've been doing this. I've seen students come and go. I seen them, yeah, we taking note. But guess where you take note? Guess what? You got to ask questions, Fletcher. That don't work here. You got to ask questions. See, Fletcher, the men are required, especially you ones like you taking notes. And press one. So you should be able to get up in front of class, turn and look at the class and say what you. Because I heard students say they got it and they really don't. So it's been just mandatory for quite some time. It's been a lot of callers yesterday. We had great callers, man. Mrs. Karen Devine Williams. Shout out to you, Miss Karen Devine. Lord have mercy. Baltimore cracking up. What's up with him? Bruh. And people always say that we take it. No, they don't understand nothing. One thing I know about American Negroes, we sit through school talking about, yeah, we got it. I got it. Press one. Yeah. Like Charleston White. Press one. Yeah. We got it. We understand. And then as soon as you ask that nigga a simple question, mm, mm, mm. So I'm not going to let you go out like that, Fletcher. Don't even make that mistake. For his glory sake, bring that notebook over here, champion. Let's see what the fuck you know, sir. I need to make sure all male students are beginning to learn the ABC and 1, 2, 3s at this level. So there is no wrong answer, Fletcher. Press one, Mr. Berkeley. There is no wrong answer. Don't be ashamed. I know it's easy to type sentences and shit. You feel me? It's easy to type sentences. But how you let me know? You feel me? I don't know who that is. Talking about my chat ain't coming up. I don't know. I don't know. Hit me up on my Patreon or something. I don't know. Crenshaw veteran says 9 times 9 equals 54. Yeah, now and I refuse to. I'm like George Bush at this moment in time. I'm like no child left behind. You feel me, Fletcher? I don't want you to waste your time. That's all it is, not mine. Because we proceed. I don't want you to waste your time. Shout out to Urban Barker. What up with it? I see you. D Jordan, my guy. What's up with it, my friend? Lots of great information. I told y'all the structure was kind of like placed, the corporation was kind of like placed on your common law and where they barred you and cut you off. And now you're a 14th Amendment black person. Press one. You're a 14th. Now think about that. We have to admit, we're 14th Amendment black people. Mm, mm, mm. That's what you are. You're not even you American citizen, but you're a 14th Amendment black person. Oh my goodness. That's a mental that's that type of slavery uh Morpheus was talking about in the Matrix. A fucking prison without bars. 14th Amendment from the 13th and the 14th Amendment and you being black. Yeah, that's a prison without bars. I mean, you can go to the store. They were allowed to go to the store back in the day. You were assimilated back in the day. It's important for you to know this. We've been talking about time immemorial, the consensus of these nations to come up with a historical lie, and all agree that this lie is now law at the at a specific level. What up, Kev? Listening from home today, not the big rig. And shout out to you, Mr. Chosen. Shout out to you and that hard work y'all truckers be putting in out here. This is another beautiful day in paradise. We got pretty far yesterday in that film, so I'm gonna put that back on as soon as I'm trying to wait because people call me in the morning and I'm not answering no calls until I get on the air. I just want people to know that. So if you do want to call me, make sure it's about the subject matter and it's talking about, and asking questions about what we've been discussing. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't want any more flowers. I have flowers stacked up in the garage. Press one. Peace, G. I'm at the doctor office, so I can't call in. But you were 100% right about the world fairs and how they lied about the dates. Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't know if I'm 100% right, but I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, I didn't just come up with Black Holocaust or the Black Genocide or nothing like that. I came up with that because I was heartbroken at the possibility where my truths was leading me. You feel me? All roads lead to Rome. You feel me? So when I'm looking at the graphics of those black people on ships tied up like that, it just came to me like, bruh, they already dead and they going into the infirmary. And this is what the infirmary looked like. Cause me and said we was already studying the infirmaries at the bottom of the church or the catacombs and all that shit. Press one. We was already studying that. And we was already talking about could they had been the sacrifice to Baal by way the firstborns. Remember the firstborns, the heirs. You wipe out the heirs, the rest of them don't matter. Literally cut them off from God, literally. So it's been a journey. It's been a long road. So if nobody calling in, that's what's up. I can get this started and put this movie on and get right to the information. Now, me myself, I've been watching this guy, And it's a lot of stuff I may or may not agree with or nothing. You know what we're studying. So apply it to the notes, applying to what we're studying. Anything else is just extra quantum info that's in the cloud somewhere. Press one. All right. So you can pick and choose one day when you bored at what subject matter. You oh, let me check that out. What you find quote unquote cool, but you know what we talking about.
Unknown
And you
caller.
might wanna I like that. I like the sound of that. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air. What up?
Hi, this is Lita, and I'm calling. I do have a question. So that we realize that the treaties are all through foreign entities or individuals that were signed, so that they are illegal. Are they legal in the uh, maritime, like the law of the sea?
No, because the law of the sea is in control of what? What do the gold fringes around the American flag represent?
The foreign nations that's in charge of
Maritime law.
everything.
So it's maritime law. So is
The
it
maritime.
so is it legal?
So that's what I'm trying to separate. Is it legal but not lawful?
There you go. There you go.
Lord have
And then you start
mercy.
looking into what the term legal means, and it really means the undoing of God's law. So, yeah, you well said, well said, well said. We can come. We're two and two meet in His name. Two or three, there He is. So you got the answer. We found it
Yes.
together. There it is.
Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
I got so many questions, but
Anything
I'm gonna
else?
go ahead
I'm
and let
I'm
the
here.
viewer,
Anything else? I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here.
because I'm like, right, I understand you here, and it's just like trying to really honestly wrap your mind around the land, the sea,
Yes.
and the air. Well, let me do it how, because when he put that,
There
whoever
you
put that
go.
in the chat yesterday, I was like, oh my, he
You
woke up
see, it
me
makes
to a
sense,
whole nother
doesn't it?
level too. Yeah.
Yes.
So, so let me ask you this. So before the kingdom and the king wrote out the Magna Carta, they wrote out the Magna Carta because of these type of situations, as far as a legal way that the prince of this earth and his minions have designed it to protect the kingdom through the Magna Carta.
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's all you see. If you don't, then it will be an allegorical, worldly destruction of the people. That's why you were granted that. That's why
Yeah, it's
you were
like a little
given.
fantasy world that we living in, like
There you
this
go.
kingdom and the Vatican with these people. That's it's just all this is just all fake and fictitious. But I remember when you told us that, like, because you try to move yourself from the legal part of it, but you said that everything that is legal or was in place, not necessarily is bad, like that, how God can, like, to me, God is using the internet, what they was trying to do to control us and stuff, but now we have the internet in a good way where we can look and research and find out all these things that our forefathers, didn't have the ability so fast and quick, like you were mentioning yesterday.
Yeah.
You'd have to go to the actual meetings and stuff like that. So I'm trying to understand and wrap my mind around what part of this legal processes and everything is, how I'm trying to figure out how I can word it, because, like, what's the good part of it? Like, if the king was okay, if so, do we still supposed to have like our actual self and then the strong man and operate lawfully like this under a strong? Because it just
So you so
Because
so
it's
are
like you try to, I want to make sure I'm doing stuff lawfully and how it was, but still
there's no
be
I'd say don't do anything until it all just live
okay.
and let life be what life is.
Uh huh.
You've been living in it.
Okay.
This is about the understanding and the revealing of what we've been living in.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the
So
crazy part
so
about it
so
is that
so
uh
if
huh.
it so think of it like this: how to get back
Hmm.
to the law, how to get
Yeah.
back, and I take the approach, the religious approach of how to
Uh
get
huh.
back to God. Think of it
Okay.
that way. You have to get
Okay.
back to God by what?
What's the question? You have to get by God to in order to because
Yeah.
God is the law.
How do how do we get back to God? Let's talk religious chapter.
Okay. Right.
How do we get back to God?
Personally, how I would say how personally how I have is
No,
I'm
no, no,
staying
no,
in
no.
my word. Okay.
As a collective, like
Oh, as a collective,
yes. How do we?
I learning and doing this, learning the actual law of the land,
Oh,
learning the law of the
okay.
sea, the air.
But let's
Mm-hmm.
just say yes, I got you. But let's just say in the
Mm-hmm.
religious spectrum, you want to get back to the law, statutes, and commandments of God, right?
Right. I've been fast. Everything that's in there. Fasting,
No, no,
praying,
no, no. You're supposed to
jo-
love God. How do you love God? By obeying and keeping
keeping
His
His.
law. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
obeying and keeping
Okay.
His laws. So in the same
Yes.
sense, in this,
Mhm.
let's say the law of the land, we keeping God's law is how we get back to what?
To God.
Okay, but okay
Get
now,
back to God.
okay,
So
so
because.
you talking
Mhm.
common law, royalty,
Mhm.
nobility. So
Mhm.
you asking a question that may unveil itself in the future, but
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, because I'm doing all that, but but it's one only thing, and that is it's kind of
there's no other way.
trying. Yeah, well, I know there's no other way, but I'm trying to say to to the fact that we know a lot of the legalese stuff that's going on is against God to try to. Man, I guess that's just an individual thing. Just like let me just put this as an example,
They're
like
not
how.
battling God. They're battling themselves at the coming of the Lord. They're trying to.
Oh, God.
Yeah, they're not.
Okay.
You can't battle God. I mean, you just like a
Well, not battle
daydream
him,
to think that you can.
not battling him, but keeping the people from God in the way that they
Nobody's keeping the
portray
people away
everything.
from God but the people.
True. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Right, and it's like we giving them the power by even saying that they're keeping us away. But they've been doing a lot of crafty counsel for sure.
But by not doing your best to
Say it
keep
again. I couldn't hear.
by not keeping the commandments of God in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's what allowed. Okay, I got you. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. I'm
The scriptures is law here in America.
right. And we just read
And
it. I mean, not read it, but well,
to be
I
against
just heard it when that public law. It's true. It's a
see, this is just the mechanics of the matrix. Okay, so don't let this information overdo you, or where you begin to start to paddle and need a lifeboat, and ain't nothing even going on. This is just you
right.
sitting back and
See, that's
watching
how.
the unveiling. If you, I'm telling
Hmm.
you to get to know God in the meaning of what I'm talking about and how I'm saying in the same religious construct, because the laws of the land was granted by God. So
Right.
it's the law.
And that's what I'm
Thou
doing.
every
That's what
one of them.
I'm
Thou should not
continuously working
murder.
on.
All of it.
Mhm. The
It's
commandments
it's all
and the
legal.
covenant,
What?
keeping it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Remember the
And
covenant.
that's the
I'm just
thing. I have
delivering
to.
the
That's why
I'm
I'm
just
glad I
delivering the
talk.
information. You're not gonna do nothing but wake up and go to work or something. The thing is,
No, I'm
the
not. I don't
perspective
even do that because
the perspective is changing. That's all. In the individual, whether it's you or it's a person that's watching, it's all about
right.
you as an individual. Are you understanding?
And I am understanding, and it's because of constantly researching, watching your channel, listen to the people that seriously been watching it. So I am, and that's the one thing that I have realized, that when you're learning this, that it's good to get back settled and get back grounded, because you start. Well, I'm gonna say me. I'll start like
Yeah, that's what I'm
thinking
saying.
that, oh wow, and it's
You ever
like,
been at the
wow, come
beach?
back to
You ever seen a
yourself.
lifeguard helping somebody and they like stop paddling? Come on, we're going to the
Right.
side of the pool. Come on.
Yeah, you making it worse.
Yeah, but you in your
Kicking and
own
flicking
world.
and flirting.
They're more experienced at jumping in the pool, saving a person. That's just start
Hmm.
hyperventilating for nothing. Just sit back, relax.
Yeah,
Take the
I got to get
information
back to
as that.
that. Yeah.
Don't let this information overwhelm you. That's why I start doing 1 hour, 2 hour
Yeah,
shows, because I've noticed
it's a lot.
yeah, a lot of people will be like, shit, I gotta do this or I gotta do that, and then what if I become a sovereign citizen and this one and that one, and it's just fucking start traveling, and they forget about this was already written. This is most people who do that
Yeah.
has kind of is trying to find their own way out without God.
Mm.
So I'm telling you, you
Oh
got to
yeah,
know.
yeah. Looking for the mammoth instead of God. Right.
Bingo. So thank you for the call, sister.
Hmm. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, a lot of people who do that, they be trying to get the solution without going the right way. You know what I'm saying? It's the same road that way. It's the same shit. And then when you talking about legal and lawful and heirs law and common law, which is law of the land and law of the sea, you got to respect it all. Commercial, but the thing is knowing. You got to know. Press one and your body has to begin to become aware. Like, oh, this is why I was at the Social Security building and I was asked this one time. These questions that we as individual always have. Press one. A lot of people like to take the information and build other things and go off, and there's nothing you can do without understanding. And this is already at play. You've been in it this whole time. It's like you can't embrace for the new world order if you were born into it. You were born into it. You were born with two or three Americas and you was placed at them, but you were born into that. So, you know, we just information changes one's perspective, spectrum can change everything. Truth will do that to you. It'll do that to you. Like, damn. So that's why this happened or this. Listen, people say things and you hear things in your life and these things is like, damn. Is that why they keep man and woman arguing and stuff? And nobody believes in God anymore, but it's law. You know what I'm saying? So, you come to your own conclusion. Remember that. You come to your own conclusion, but it's always good to have a space where we all can communicate. 424-209-9506. Questions. People was calling while she was on the air. But yeah, before I put this script on, and studying this stuff is so cool, especially especially at a time like this, I'm gonna show y'all something right now, just until somebody come on. This is what Taj sent me yesterday, and maybe Taj can call this in. I'm not sure. Maybe call y'all like how I did that. Put the camera on the inside. Gangster. I'm a technological gangster. Press one. So Taj did this. Gangster. Let me see what this says. Now I don't know. I didn't read this until now. Return of Owners of Land, 1873. The two-volume Return of the Owners of Land, 1873, is the first complete picture of the distribution of land ownership in Great Britain since the Doomsday Book of 1086. Thus, 1873 Return is sometimes called the modern-day Doomsday, which I guess these are two different books. It arose from the desire of the Victorian governing landed classes, many of whom sat at the House of Lords, to counter rising public clamor about what was considered the monopoly of the land. Oh, so this is about the return of the original landlords, and you dealing with Scotland, and oh, okay, yeah, and I, yeah, it's like they they said, oh, they have a monopoly on this land. And then they said, oh, we don't like that. Yeah, we don't like that. And then they went and did the same damn thing. That's what they're good at. Then they go and put it in offshore bank accounts and start laundering money and outsourcing your resources for their own greedy needs. Press one. This is facts. So land is limited in quantity. That's what's up. So this is Doomsday Book here. Let me see. Doomsday Book is a manuscript. Oh, is this French or what is this? Is this about land? And is this more time immemorial? I don't know. I don't know. This is what I stay away from. So people be happy. Y'all gotta keep me up to date on what the fuck y'all be sending me. Because I hate time immemorial. Press one. I hate time immemorial. That's where y'all gotta do y'all research. I hate that shit. That's one of my worst subjects. Time immemorial. And if I'm gonna talk about time immemorial, it's about how none of it makes sense at all. Their time immemorial is the cover up of history. See, I need to prove that time immemorial is false to you, not to them. They know it's all bullshit. I need to prove it to you. So all time immemorial, from my standpoint at the U, is really just
Unknown caller.
a rearranging of history.
From
Hold up, Taj. Hold up, Taj, real quick. Is a rearranging of history, and it has been doctored to whitewash true history. Press one, period. I don't think all they whitewashed in the 1303 and the Catholics white and all that shit was whitewashed. Right now, when Hitler and them stole all that artwork. Coffee and Kush TV. Taj, Georgia, you're on the air. What up?
Peace, guys. Peace, guys. Hey, yeah, I only sent that one in. We on the same track with that, man. But the return of the land, the first one you had up, that one was really the one that piqued my interest. Because so far I've been able to find something that was actually in Kentucky. And it just so happens that it happened right after the Civil War, and it seems like what they did was try to get people out of the feudal system, and got them more so into what's the word I'm looking for? They seem like they got the common people to revolt against the nobles, and entice them with the ability to potentially own land through something like correct me if I'm wrong, fee simple, the fee
Absolutely.
simple that the lady was talking
Now,
about.
right
Yeah,
now, when was this?
1873, right after the Civil War. The return of the land. I'm talking about the return of the landowners.
Okay, I'm just making sure it's within the time frame. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the hypothesis I came up with, and that's the part that got me to think back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah, and when the guy that you put on the Law of Redemption guy, when he's talking about, he told the people to get the land, and it seems like they just documented everything there.
Oh, you mean the
Like as far as
prophecy of Jeremiah
who the
25?
nobles was.
Was that Jeremiah 25?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
okay, so you saying that's a great damn resemblance of that's a great time right there, Jeremiah 25. So you looking at it from a biblically matching of history, and
Yes,
it
sir.
was just
Yes,
documented
sir.
in the same fashion.
But
But
you tell me if I'm reaching,
we
but
are
it could have
no.
been the time.
But we were talking about the Law of Redemption guy who was talking about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jeremiah definitely. He prophesied this. He talked of a time like this, and that's why they try to take us back in the time immemorial to keep people confused and get people again. Everything that's not of God is anti. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things to get people to turn away because it's so far away. When, like you always say, we only got to go back a couple grandmas to see when the destruction started coming on to people, and it was something that was prophesied, and they knew it because they. I ain't gonna say I know how how they knew it. They knew it because God told them. God told them it was gonna happen. They knew they knew God knew His people.
So you notice how everything that they really did, they say it happened in medieval times, which hides their genocide. To hide what they've done, they always put it in time immemorial, like it was so
That's
far
right.
back. You notice that?
Yes, sir.
Like
Yes,
what
sir.
happened,
And that makes sense.
what
You said
happened
it.
in our time a few grandmas ago always played out in medieval or the dark age or some old age right before they did it, and which always like covers what they're doing. Oh no, that didn't happen then. That happened way back in King George in 1502 when King Edward met with Philip, and then they had tea. And right, and it's like, wait a minute.
Right. Right. Like that gives them that plausible deniability.
Bingo.
So you you're constantly looking for who did it. Who's to blame? We don't know because of time immemorial.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
it's like, and then that's when this, and then we're looking back and we're matching these characters up like the game of Clue, and we're coming up with butts and all of these people who look like the same individuals on this side. Like, wait, this is not even a real
Yeah.
fucking person. No, this guy has many aliases. What?
7, 8. We find 7, 8 different Theodore Roosevelt. Yes, sir. The trust buster.
They motherfucking trust bust because he writing and playing different characters. He goes, and his daddy J.P. Morgan. Oh no, not his daddy, but J.P. Morgan. Anyway, who got all the gold? His daddy was a professional fucking con artist. He was a professional person who knew how to steal people's signatures, fraud. So he was a fraudulent motherfucker. He knew how to create accounts, make
Yeah.
it seem like, how else do you steal people's shit?
Literally took their heirship, took their inheritance, and placed other people within his family or his little group and they future generations benefited at instead of the real,
Right.
instead of the real heirs.
Right.
They took the nobility.
They took the nobility. And they running around with horses and swords and riding around in gold carriages, and we were riding around in VWs and debt. And they riding around in pure. And these are the old Nazis. We got them at birth talking about holding up the Adolf Hitler salute. You feel me? Like the Queen of England.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. When she was a little girl, she was throwing up the Hail Hitler, and
She
just going back
threw
and
it up
seeing
in
the
her whole life.
relationships.
When she was washing dishes,
Yeah,
when she was vacuuming, when she was ordering people what to do, and when they was coming around telling her what she can't do, she always held Hitler. It wasn't never the first time.
yeah. Like what gives me a history, and it's something that I never would have came across if I ain't start listening to you, sir. If you brought it to my attention, it's like how all of the monarchs all throughout Europe, how they were all related, and then right at the same time period we studied, that's when they all take over, whether it was the Romanovs,
and they was all black too. You look back in history, the royals and the knights and the stewards, these people are black. So how did it go from black people, to the 1900s, everything switching to Romanov Catholic Church, this, that, and then a whole influx of immigration overthrowing Great Britain?
It's that grand coup. It's that grand. It was a grand coup. It appears
because it happened everywhere. Like it had to happen in Russia because Great Britain had property there. It had to happen in North Africa because we helped build North Africa. It had to, and we built that whole shit. So, and it had to happen here at the same time. That's why I was telling you we need to research what was going on in America, what was going on during the Bolshevik Revolution, and the rise of Adolf Hitler. And look how far we came and how similar these three events. Like it's a whole war out there going on, but at the World Fairs is peace in America. The only thing that's really going on in America is the black people are being massacred. All of their towns are being destroyed. So relating the three is like, wait a minute. Was this an invasion? Was these foreigners? And you start looking into these people background and you find out they were foreigners. Like they wasn't even legally, so it had me just looking at history and combine that with what we was talking about was said and what we were discovering before all this is just insane. But I love it.
Yeah. And I just got that book. I just started reading the Wall Street and the Bolshevik Revolution by Anthony Sutton.
Yeah,
I just started that book, and that's real interesting, man. And it was like when the guy came in, he was talking. The guy yesterday, David, whatever his name is, it don't matter.
Yeah.
But when he had said how the UN came and how we got Japan to surrender, but whatever happened with the war on the other front?
Of course.
And then it made so much more sense.
But did you watch the Man in the High Castle? What happened? They made an agreement with Japan. Japan wanted this. They was like, boom, boom, boom. Japan got up out of there. And the Nazis just took over everything.
And that, like,
that's
and
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, man, you the one, man. You the one, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm about to pump.
We the ones. Thank you, champion. Yeah, thank you, my man. We the ones. Thank you for your information, champ. Thank you for your taking part in this conversation. You the one. That just be you the one too. You got to be able to see this shit, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, in the time immemorial thing, let me play something for y'all. real quick. I hope I got it. I hope I got it. Okay. I want y'all to think about time immemorial. I want y'all to think about time immemorial in a way like we're saying it here. If you're African American, black, or whatever, look, I know you can see. Okay, so if you Google time immemorial, maybe somebody can help you out and get the definition for it. But it is how they became Indians and made themselves sovereign and before you. So it's like, how did these Asians become Native American? And then they have English names, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? These damn questions. These questions is real. And it's okay to ask simple, real questions. But I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is a video I found of the Magna Carta and trial by jury in the New Republic. She talks about time immemorial in a way. So when we see time immemorial, immemorial, that's why I was telling Taj, it's like they hide their crimes against humanity. Press one by way of time immemorial. So, time immemorial, used to refer to a point in time in the past that was so long ago that people have no knowledge or memory of it. But they know about what happened with Jesus in 5 AD. Time that mean the Jesus story and Mel Gibson and them is all dealing in time immemorial. Press press one. Oh my goodness. And it's called also time out of mind. And if you believe in time out of mind, you're insane. You get it? Okay. That's slavery. And that's all these stories of history. I'm telling you, if you believe in time out of mind, you need help. Because all time is recorded. A time attending a period legally fixed as a basis for a custom or right. Press one. So you this is one and two, the definition one. A time so long ago in the past to be indefinite in history or tradition. Called also time out of mind, right? A time or two, a time attending a period legally fixed as the basis for a custom or a right. I see why the Bible say for the customs up nearby. So yeah, all the little pictures of little Indians and feathers, Carimio and Dan Calloway, all the little slave pictures of people taking artwork of people get on slave. All these little stories about cowboys and these stories about Putty and the and goddamn the volcano who wiped out a civilization and dinosaurs. Press one. These are all legal constructs, legally fixed, all agreed upon by way of time immemorial. Pew! United States government is fighting Indians. Go on, join the army, Paul. You feel me? Sounds like the beginning of every fairy tale. A long, long time ago in a faraway land. Don't you get it? They're dealing in time immemorial. You ever seen that? And who say that the most? Disney. In a long time ago, in a world that's just outside the world we live now. You ever heard some shit like that? Press what the fuck? Yeah, world outside the world we live now. In a world that's operating in a simultaneous dimension. There's one where dead people are alive. There's one. These motherfuckers will make a whole song right there, a whole character you falling on. What the fuck? Where the dead are alive. Oh shit. You feel me? So you gotta think about this
Unknown
stuff,
caller.
y'all. I'm I thought
Okay.
I thought I was the only one in the world who thought about these things. Coffee and Kush TV, Rico, don't talk too fast now. And what's up? What's on your mind, champ?
Man, I'm just laughing how you present the time and memorial for us right now, man.
Would
You always keep us rolling with the truth, man, and knowledge, man. But I was gonna let you keep going for a little second, but I'm really calling in just
you gonna let me
right on
keep
point with
going?
class today. I want to kind of speak on the Sister QV trust and actually bring up when you just brought up the Lords, how you said they're fighting and running from the coming of the Lord. And as I was doing my research last night, I realized that the Lord, as the lady said, Miss Speakman, the Lord is the clergy, the nobility.
That's right.
That's going to represent the people, which will be the God's body politic, not the corporate body politic, right? So I sent you some stuff on the ground. I know, like you said, though, you probably don't even get a chance to read it a lot
No,
of times because you so much stuff.
I actually was reading it. I actually read the shit you were sending. So, what's up with it though? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, you might can't bring them up from on the screen, but I'm going to read this right from Canon 1290, which I believe I got to go back and look at the canons, but I believe that these are some of the laws and statutes that were put into place by some of our former forefathers and kings in the time, or maybe some queens like how Queen Elizabeth had certain statues of Mortmain and stuff like that. So when we wake up, we'll be able to protect ourselves. So I'm reading from the Sister QV Trust as I was studying last night. As like we said, the life estate of the 14th Amendment is the hijack of what I feel like and what you and Taj has been. I don't really believe it's the hijack of the Magna Carta because I know Miss Speakman was saying that
So
we
you
should
think
be
this is
fighting
no?
for.
Wait a minute. Before you go any further, so you saying
Yes, sir.
this is the actual trust that replicated the Magna? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I believe the 14th. I wanted to, but I believe the 14th Amendment and the Constitution kind of working in tandem to take us
Of
away from the
course.
Magna Carta.
What I'm saying is,
Yes, sir.
as one of my special bungalow advisor, is do you think is the 14th Amendment tied in with this trust you studying?
Yeah, I believe this is the Sister QV Trust, and the reason why is that if you let me read this real quick, and I got a couple. They don't make sense, but I'm gonna read this one real quick. It says, Canon 1290, Sister QV Trust, the corporate person being the estate, which would be us, God's people, the royals, the estate of a Sister QV Trust, being the estate of a Sister QV Trust, can never be considered as the person for whose benefit the trust is created, but a dead body representing a likeness of the deceased body of the missing person of the beneficiary in whose name the Sister QV Trust was originally formed. So what they're saying is they formed the Sister QV Trust because what they're saying is when I read the other one, we're lost at sea, we're dead, we're black.
They're
So
dead. They're
because we're black,
genocided. You're
yes, sir.
genocided.
So they made a
You were made black. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So they made a 62V trust, which we know goes back to, I believe, King Charles II. But in hindsight, it is the 14th Amendment life estate, because what they have done is become the trustees of our estate, because they're saying we're missing in action. They haven't disclosed a lot of stuff that I read last night. And I just thank God that He helped me understand. And thank you that you, like you say, you just make, like we know you're making us better every day without researching and bringing us stuff that we might not never been able to hear, because the way your channel is built upon God's truth, so we're able to catch things that we might not hear every day, and it's being funneled through you, the spirit of truth. So I really appreciate you, Kel. But again, getting back to let me read this part of why it's going to show that we are under the Roman law and how we fell up under the not how we fell, but why it makes so much sense that like you said though, they genocided us and they sent us off on to sea and stuff like that. So it says Canon 1283. A sister QB trust is a financial concept first created during the reign of Charles II of England through the Sister QB Act of 1666, wherein an estate may be affected for the benefit of a person presumed lost or abandoned. So our estate, which would really be, of course, the trust, the Magna Carta, they saying because we're lost and abandoned at sea, then they're going to, again, make the Sister QB trust to take a hold of our estate. So they say a person presumed lost or abandoned at sea and therefore assumed dead after 7 years. Additional presumption.
Now, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Now,
Yes,
wait
sir.
a minute. Now, wait a minute.
I'm listening.
After 7 years, huh?
Yes, sir.
So, in the reverse of being dead after 7 years, and then, so to be alive is, wait a minute, to be found.
I got some. Yes, sir.
It's to be redeemed.
The Lord of the Lords to return. No, that's what, man. Hey, man, that's look.
You know, 7 years cancels the debt.
And that's what you were saying even when you went into like you said you went to jail. You said I haven't used this one in so long that when they tried to put me in the system or bring whatever up that you were saying, it was like I just haven't been in the system so long because of being on the run and just natural things that was going on.
So the judge did what? He went to the prosecutor and said, "Go check and see if he ain't been in no trouble in 7 years." And they went to go check and seen that I had no police contact in 7 years. And they said, "Damn, he don't we have no jurisdiction over this matter." I said,
Come on, man.
And then the prosecutor said, "But he didn't pay for no restitution to the victim. There was no victim because the shit was insured. And he didn't do no probation and he ain't did nothing. We don't have no jurisdiction over this matter. Free to go." So I'm like, damn, what the? So this is why things like this happen. Go ahead.
Man, and that's just crazy the way you saying it because it just goes to show that when we do get in trouble and once we stop getting in trouble, like what the lady was saying that y'all talking about earlier, you said, what way do we get back to God? And you said honor his laws by making sure to go out there and definitely preach the word and things of that and be civilized to the other people of the law. But we must follow the law first. We must understand the law. How can we ever be able to, like you say, judge correctly and properly if we don't understand the law? So I just thank you again because right now we are learning the law every day and learning our history and who, why, when, where, what, and everything else that we need to learn. Man, I appreciate this. So I'm going to finish reading. Additional presumptions be which such a trust may be formed were added in later statutes to include bankrupts, the minors, the incompetents, mortgages, and private companies. Hence,
now wait a minute. Before we continue,
yes, sir?
What the point I'm making is,
I'm listening.
The debt's been paid. See, because that goes back to the Lord's Prayer when dealing with debt and forgiveness of debt. So if penal codes are debt and it's all credit and loan and taking money and shit like that, really you're looking at an anomaly in a situation where after 7 years, debt is canceled out, so the crime was never committed. The only thing is, he didn't never recommit. He didn't never commit to probation. He just never finished it. But after 7 years, that doesn't mean anything because the debt is still canceled out. So if that means it's all corporate. It's all corporate,
right?
Debt and
it's
credit. Because when I checked my CUSIP number, I was super in the positive. But go ahead.
They're the administrators and the executives of our trust right now. So that's why we have administrative court instead of common law court. Like you said, we're barred. And like Ms. Stephen said,
yeah, but I'm talking
right now,
about. I'm just talking about in general with the debt was paid. You go to jail.
Now that's why I say once you got, like you said, after 7 years, once your debt, you was able to show the administrators like, hey, that's why I'm speaking in the way I'm speaking it, because I've been researching and just
I
trying
didn't
to get,
have to
but
show them
pretty
nothing.
much
They seen it
you
for
did, you right,
themselves.
you showed the Lord,
The
you showed the Lord,
judge,
you showed
the
God.
judge
Yes,
himself
sir.
seen it. I didn't show him nothing. That's
Yes,
why
sir.
I was
That's why I'm
tripping.
not saying you had to present the paperwork.
Go ahead, but
What
go
I'm
ahead.
saying is that yes, sir. I'm not saying you actually showed paperwork. What I'm saying is because you trusted in God and you stayed out the way and you made a decision in your real life in real time. And like you said, God did what He did to make sure the judge, like you said, you didn't have to say nothing and do nothing. You did what you. Well, not saying you didn't do nothing, but you did what you needed to for God to understand that He can honor the covenant. That why when you say remember the covenant. So like you said, that's why like you said, the debt can be canceled because you remember the covenant. You know what I'm saying? Things of this nature that I'm really understanding in real time why you are who you are and why you're calling us to remember who we are. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're talking about specific, yes, sir.
So we're all prisoners to corporate policy debt. So if that's the case, 7 years and the debt clears, then you really just that's a fuck up
I was
right there. That's like you really just damn, you're just running from nothing. That's why I was telling
right
niggas
about
like,
that.
yeah, because if you ain't got no high crime and then you might as well just go turn yourself in and be at the leisure of the court and to say, in God we trust. So I mean, it's just like, damn, if you can't do nothing, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. After 7
Like you
years,
said, as the lady was saying, she
they
trying
just
to
put
search
you
for
on
how to do this
probation
and
and
how to do
parole.
that.
They're gonna put you on parole for 10
Yes, sir.
years. They're gonna put you on probation for 5 years, and within that time, they're gonna violate you, and it just keep going over and over and over. Cause niggas never get off paperwork. That's why they be so like,
You right
oh
about
shit.
that, man. You right
So,
about that.
oh, and then they go into different paperwork, child support or some old weird shit. Like what? So yeah. Getting back to what you was talking about. Go ahead, brother.
Now, look, that's why I want to read this Canon 1295. It say why the executives and administrators of societies, which that's why we think about the Cincinnati Alderman Society when we got on Title 36, bro. You helped me understand they took our names and put them in society. So it's just a lot of stuff that we can, but I want to keep it short so you can bring the videos up. But I want to just build for a couple more minutes. But societies under Roman law continue the unlawful practice of selling the live birth records of children in slave bonds. These bonds are never considered property placed into the original 60QB trust, but a second 60QB trust owned by the private Central Reserve Bank as part of the long-standing bankruptcy conditions dating back to 1933 and 1934. So, me saying it is, as I read more, I don't want to have to read all the way through it. I'm just going to kind of, jump around by keeping it, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm gonna cut some of these paragraphs a little short. So I know I read on another one where they were showing that they were able to take the great trust. There was a one trust for us all, and how they were able to keep separating the trust, like what we talking about now. How they was able to make us all debt bonded slaves. So while I was bringing up hold on, Mama, I'm trying to. Sorry about that, man. My mom keeps talking. Sorry about that. I'm trying to say that in 1933, this is why this was possible, as you've been showing us. Once they took the gold and they offset the loans and things of this nature, it also threw us into where the trust became. It's like the trust. They knocked the trust out to where it's like we didn't take care of the trust the correct way. You know what I'm saying? So I know there was another way of why we were saying like it's not way back in time memorial. This stuff was a couple of grandmas ago. So again, as I'm reading about, as this estate came in, and the reason why they was able to do certain stuff at a certain time, whether it was 1933 or it could have been maybe just a few years earlier. I don't really see where they was able to create this hundreds and hundreds of years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I am saying to where we do have a chance, not we, where the Redeemer in real time is being able to understand through the 60QB trust and the information that was, like I said, it's in the 7-minute video. So a lot of stuff that I'm talking about comes from the 7-minute video and the 2-minute video I sent you. Because like I said, with the insurance, they spoke at the beginning that the Sesame QV Trust is taking a family trust. It can take a guard trust of a royal family and put everybody on insurance, this one and that one. So that's what I'm hearing that you've been saying in real time, but now I'm able to actually see it in law on paper, which is a beautiful thing, because now it ain't just me just looking at Miss Speakman video. I'm actually go to what you've been saying where it's at, but it's good to be able to actually see it in real time and be able to read it myself and not just being listening to or trying to do the closed captions and stuff like that. So as I say that, I want to read this Canon 1301. Upon a person fulfilling the requirements to reestablish their status and competency, which you were really showing us, is a reclassification over everything. Our status holds our
which is your competent your competency. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The relevant administrator and executive is duty bound to dissolve the Sesame QV Trust, as it has been proven to have been created on one or more errors of presumption. And the presumption is they saying that we're dead and lost, which pretty much, Kev, you just showed us we are. You know what I'm saying? So we have been dead, lost at sea, and black. So
and blackball.
I'm going to read what you got on the screen. I just read. I'm going to read right what you just brought on the screen.
Go ahead.
I see you just brought it up on the screen. So I'm going to read that. But like I say, under the presumption, and they like I say, they just lied to us. It ain't that they presume we did. We know what happened. So for the most part, it's a multiple ways that I'm saying in real time how to hold them accountable, because
so if you're black, you're dead, right? You're dead in law.
Yeah, you're dead.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you're incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
So in the reverse of incompetent is you have to come back into a competence stance by learning the truth.
And the law and everything that come with it. The truth, the law, like you said, the truth come with everything, pretty much. The history, everything. The proper way to do things, how to, you know what I'm saying, be married the proper way, like you said. Y'all running for marriage just because they saying it, and it's come to the truth, and you'll be able to know that marriage is the most beautiful thing on this earth. You know what I'm saying? To be able to join the union under God, to raise your children and things of this nature, to have a nation and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. I can't wait to the the Kevin G late night. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be healing and doing that in real time too. But to say that what you got on the screen, I'm gonna read, because like you said, when a child is born under inferior Roman law, which that's what they done took it. They took us out of God law
and put you in an inferior account. That's right. Just like old girl said, they're in a inferior estate. Go ahead.
So I'm going to keep reading. The executors or administrators of the higher estate claim the baby as chattel or chattel property to the estate of the slave. Baby contract is then created. By honoring the ancient tradition of either having the ink impression of the feet of the baby on the live birth record or a drop of his blood, as well as tricking the parents to signing the baby away through the deceitful legal means of the live birth record. And why this is important is because they what they did, and they didn't, bro. They cold, bro.
Well, you can definitely see what you were sold into. So this is after you were genocide. This is after you were put into bondage. After the 13th Amendment made criminal, made all of these things criminal. Everything took over, and look how they. This is without this being.
So when you think about the Social Security Act, they bringing it out of Roman law and putting it in real. So they came from Rome and right into yes, sir. And why they saying even the part of why tricking signing away is because they're passing your mom, they're passing your dad, whoever's signing that birth record. That's something as a statute that they have to follow to be able to say if we were lost, they would have been doing the correct things. But we knowing they made us lost on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference of the presumption of being lost and you not really lost. You know what I'm saying? That y'all made us, y'all put us out.
Not only are you lost in sea, you black and you dead.
Dead. Come on now.
Running around in compost Mentos. Comp is spinning around. You running around in circles.
Silver little mortars.
Go ahead.
So it say this live birth record as a promissory note is converted into a slave bond, sold to the private reserve bank of the estate, and then conveyed.
Now wait a minute. Stop. This to my Hebrew Israelite brothers. All right, this is where it is, right? This is where we were put into bondage. Okay?
Yes, sir.
by way of ships, citizenships, and this right here. Now read that again, sir.
It says this live birth record as a promissory note is converted into a slave bond sold to the private reserve bank of the estate and then conveyed into a separate sister QV trust per child owned by the bank. Per
Now
child.
stop right there. Now stop right there. Could you read that one more time? One more time for me, champion.
Yes, sir. It's 12:15 and we live
They said
before
it's a
and after
promissory
5, brother.
note, a promise to
The
pay.
promissory.
Now go ahead.
Oh,
No, go ahead.
I'm tripping. I thought you.
No, go
This
ahead, man.
live birth record.
Bro. I'm
I
tripping,
thought you asked
bro.
what time it was. My bad. My bad. Look,
Go
look.
ahead.
This live birth record as a promissory note is converted into a slave bond sold to the private reserve bank of the estate and then conveyed into a separate sister QV trust per child owned by the bank. Upon the promissory note reaching maturity and the bank being unable to seize the slave child, a maritime lien is lawfully issued to salvage. So of course they've been placing the liens on us,
Oh my! Don't worry
everything that
about it.
Miss
Just
People.
keep going. Just go ahead. That made
The
said
lost
wake up.
property,
Said just woke the fuck up. Go ahead.
the lost property in itself monetized as a currency issued in series against the Sister QV trust. So they're what they saying is they put liens on the Sister QV. They done created a trust that they making us the beneficiaries. We got to pay back to the Sister QV trust. That's the main thing. We're paying back out of our own
Your
original trust that
own
we lost.
bondage. You
And
paying
then,
for your own genocide.
come on now, we paying for our own liberties, as Miss Speakman would say. Why is we paying for our own liberties when God done graced us? Man, come on, man. Come on, man. This is man.
Huh?
I'm gonna let you talk real quick for a
Thank
little
you,
second.
champion.
I'm looking up for
Thank
another
you,
one.
champion. I don't even
Yes,
need to
sir.
play the video today. Thank you for this, champion. Thank you. My man Rico, and this is what I'm talking about. See how great, you see, when you bring people together, see, I just had to breathe and let it flow. See, now look at this. When a child is born under inferior Roman law, the executioners and administrators of the higher estate claim the baby as chattel. To this state, the slave baby contract is then created by honoring the ancient tradition of either having the ink impression of the feet of the baby onto the live birth record or the drop of the blood, as well as tricking the parents to signing the birth away the deceitful legal meaning of the live birth record. This live birth record, as a promissory note, is converted into a slave bond sold to the private reserve bank of the estate and then conveyed into a separate cestui trust per child owned by the bank. Upon the promissory note reaching maturity and the bank being unable to seize the slave child, a maritime lien is lawfully issued to salvage the lost property and itself monetized as currency issued in series against the trust itself. So we've been studying what was the trust busting all about and all of this, but now you can see it's a little deeper than that. Now I want all of my Hebrew Israelite brothers to look and wait a minute. This sounds like Deuteronomy. Press one. Wait a minute. This sounds like Deuteronomy 28. Press one. You see that? A point in time where it lines up perfectly biblically. Now let's go to, and the Lord will bring you back into Egypt, which means bondage. Egypt means bondage, not a state. Okay? So, and the Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt, a journey that I promise that you will never make again. So this is after a pre-journey. And there you shall offer yourself for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. Remember, y'all just went into stocks and bonds and made yourself dead in law. They got you. They got you. So you're talking a whole banking institution and trust operating in total thievery. What they've done to you, or what they have done is probably the worst thing you can ever do. Is overthrow God's people. What is the crime of that? What's the crime of that? And entertainment can't save you. Living your life through social media and entertainment can't stop the truth. It's right here. Now, you can put it in time immemorial if you want to, but this really happened. We up here trying to find. So the trust is the theft. Exactly. So who set up the trust? So who set up the trust? Is it? I don't know. Talk to me. 424-209-9506. Shout out to the people who contribute to this program, of course. This is FUBU, for us, by us. Press one. Not affiliated with the clothing company, but it is community based support. Hit that cash app. My cash tag is Gills Gang. I don't even got to play the video because
Unknown.
we're gonna learn. We're learning a lot just right now.
Mm.
Coffee and Kush TV on the air. What up?
Hey, how you doing, Professor? It's Brian King.
What
Just
up,
wanted to call
Brian?
in.
My man. What up, champ?
Yes, sir. Trying to not drown over here and start hyperventilating for no reason. Just trying to take the information in. I don't need, Professor, also lifeguard, to come jump in and save me when I'm in just a couple feet of water, so I can stand up straight. So I had to try to control my breathing there just now.
Right.
Because this is great information.
That's right.
And I haven't called in a while, but I just wanted to tell you from the previous videos to today, I really appreciate you, and it is great information. And words can't explain it, but I really do appreciate you, sir. So I'm trying to just have, call in and ask the right question to make sure I'm getting the understanding the correct way.
Ain't no wrong question at this point.
Had...
At this point, ain't no wrong questions no more, man. We just answering and
Yes,
answering
sir.
and making sure even the trolls got to respect it. Ain't no wrong. And Kev ain't even upset at nobody. Kev gonna unleash the beast, unleash these motherfuckers all over the place. And that was just because a nigga got to be stern. I'm around these Democratic students, but now we got a classroom full of individuals, and just as y'all proud of me and the information, I'm proud of y'all of just making the U what it is, and how, when people come over here, it's like, damn, they not just talking shit. All these motherfuckers learning over here and not being just a
Right.
YouTube chat room and getting familiar with everybody. So it's a blessing fucking with everybody, just like as it is fucking with me. So thank y'all. But go ahead, champion.
Yes, sir. So just to wrap, my mind around what you got up here with this Canon 1294, I'm just going to kind of put it in my own words from what I've been able to learn over here and what it's saying right here when they talk about when a child is born under inferior Roman law and the executors or administrators, because you just asked the question of who set up the trust. And I might be wrong, but what I'm trying to, I guess, say in my own words is, so this process happens here when, let's say, you take a child to the hospital and you have this birth, and the executors and the administrators at the hospital will be that doctor, like you said, the docket, who are just playing administrator roles technically in this in this corporate state, because each hospital is, somewhere located in the city, in the state somewhere.
Is that what the executioner is?
Right. I would think it would be the doctor or the docket, and they're playing administrative roles because they're the ones actually in the procedure of when the birth
What I'm
happens.
saying is,
It's
you
the
know how the
doctors in there.
executioner is seen in cartoon as the person with the big hatchet to cut your head off.
Right.
Maybe that's symbolic.
Ah.
Maybe that's symbolic
Right.
because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it's doing. It cut off the heads of state and the heads of household. Really, you're coming alive, of course, because you're being birthed in a world, but actually you're dying because you're black.
Right.
You're lost at sea, or they can't find you. According to this, you're salvage. You're salvageable. I mean, wreckage. You're
Right.
just go ahead, man.
Yeah. So I was thinking that would be that part right there. And since it's an administrative, and then they need your parents to sign the paperwork, which is that birth record, they're then setting up this. They're setting up the first part of this whole procedure, which is the birth, and then allowing the parents to sign off on this contract, selling the baby into bondage. And it says the birth record as a promissory note is converted into a slave bond sold into the private reserve bank. So what I'm thinking is, okay, the baby is born in the hospital, the doctors dock the baby, execute the baby, get the soul of the baby with the footprint, and then from there you don't notice, but in the background, that birth record really is then being converted into a slave bond sold to the Federal Reserve, which is just the private reserve bank of the federal government which is like each 50 state is just kind of like in their way what they've done already of creating that smaller estate of the big estate in a sense. But
yes.
That's just how it looked. But really it's like you said, it's the individual person that they're creating this new trust out of, in a sense, like this new account in a way, by each person. And so when they sell it into, they sell the promissory note, which your parents is signing off on, and putting not just your parents in debt, but also that baby into debt, and liable for the debt of this new bond, which is sold to the Federal Reserve. And then they tracking you and everything that you do, which is going to come down the line with a whole bunch of taxes and, bills that you're going to have to pay, in your lifetime. And so, yeah, man,
I can't even believe you just said that, bro. You just flowed like I love that type of shit, bro. I'm tripping. I seen it all in my mind, bro. You
yeah,
good work.
Yeah,
that's crazy,
yeah,
man.
Yeah. Upon promissory note reaching maturity in a bank being seized, decided to it's lawful established. My bad. I'm sorry. This information just it's a lot, but that's where my mind was at. I just wanted to make sure how I was kind of thinking about this as I was reading. That's how I started seeing it in my head.
Let's play with a new thought. How's this? Let's say this QV trust is the antitrust.
Right.
Let's say we got two things. This is what I wanted because I know it's one thing versus the other. So this is what I'm thinking.
Right.
This is just me pondering now. We could be dealing with King George's Jubilee Trust versus this QV trust.
Oh, my bad. I heard it kind of was breaking up. I can hear you.
I said we're dealing with King George's Jubilee Trust, which is dealing with the granting of right and certain benefits towards the children of freemen for an eternity, versus the theft, which would be the QV trust.
Right.
I mean, the QV trust is how you would steal the birthright.
Right.
By making them what?
Right.
Slaves and bonded to the bank.
Right.
in
Right.
salvage
So
mode. Go
it's
ahead.
actually, yeah. So by the time they get to the actual King James Trust, and it's supposed to be going to that person who has that inheritance, they are coming saying they have the control over that,
Bingo.
and that's what gives them the legal, in quote, legal ability
The
to be able to
undoing of
access
God's
it and
will.
come. Right, right. So it's kind of like you, as a person, going into the bank and saying, "Oh, we have legal right to be able to go into this
And
person's
snatch
account
this
because this
account.
person is in debt to us,
And
and
yeah.
here's the paperwork of this being signed over to us having legal rights over this person's account. We finna go back into this account because we have an heir of this account."
Bingo.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's it. Just hit
Yes,
me
sir.
like, damn, this is deep, bro.
Yes, sir. That's why they have to go through that process, because either way, like you said, we're dealing with trust and stuff like that. And either way, in order for them to even get into the trust and be able to make these withdrawals or transfers or, just access to it in general, they have to go through that procedure of actually.
You being lost at sea, dead, presumed dead, black in law, not legally capable. All of these things makes them legal because, again, it's a trust, and they are
Right.
they made themselves the administrators of this trust. So, could the same administrators or executioners of the primary trust be the same people who created and forged smaller estate to steal from? It's quite possible. I mean, they went to this
Right.
length.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
this proves scripture. This is them stealing your inheritance right here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is what
Even
they
to
did.
that time of when they created those times, and the time that we was at, and yeah, it's definitely.
This is
I
what we're
even was trying
living
to.
today. So as if we lived with a house full of murderers, and that's why we had axes everywhere and blood and heads all over the garage. We had no idea. This is like this is what we've been under bond,
Right.
under debt bondage to offshore banks and all of that. So, and we already know that the bank, that type of bank, what is it, Federal Reserve? That's 1933.
Right.
That's
It
1933.
just really makes me. It really makes scripture seem very, very close. Very, very close.
Well, thank you for the call,
So
man. Call me back.
yeah,
Anything else,
yeah.
man? Call me back. I'm here.
All right, appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
My man. And this is just something else. Look at this. And this is canon law. Look, see, this is probably them Canaanite. Fictional concept first created during the reign of whatever, through this, boom, 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 boom. A benefit of a person presumed through this, boom, this state may be affected for the benefit of a person presumed lost or abandoned at sea and therefore presumed dead after 7 years. And it's just like, why are we in jail so much? We're dead. Why are we black? You dead. So it enables that. It's just like you're just being kept alive in some fucking place
Unknown caller.
linked up to a goddamn damn. This is really like the Matrix, but we walking around. This is really like the Matrix, but we walking around. Coffee and Kush TV, Cav Road University, Channel 54. You on the air? What up?
And what's up, Professor? This is Rico calling back.
What up, champ?
Hey, man, look, you just said the undoing of God's will. I heard everything else I was saying, but bro, when you said that, bro, I'm talking about the light bulb went off. When you said the undoing of God's will, and that's how they got us in the metaphysical. I've been thinking His will isn't like, what He.
you
what he
heard me
it's
say
a
that,
real
didn't you?
will.
Damn it, you Rico, you hear everything. I was so subtle with that. I was just like, nobody caught that. Okay, you're listening. You're listening. Your fucking ear is at the fucking radio.
Hey, bro, this was
so
talking about
so
the
so
Constitution
tell
and God of
me
will and stuff.
so tell
I'm
me
listening.
so you said you was thinking like You was thinking like dead, like the wheel, like in a cartoon.
Yeah,
Like,
like
go,
what he want out of what he want out the world, or not thinking about nothing in law, bro. So far from the law, would have never thought to put a will with a real will and real property in his state and think about.
that's
I
what
was
you
waiting
call
on Jesus
that.
to float out the clouds. Like, Lord, I'm 98. Where's you at? Like, when's you gonna come save us, Lord? Where's you
The
at, man?
undoing of
He talking about,
God's will.
and that's why I was calling back too, because
That's why I
I know
kept
it's
telling
sparking
you
everybody.
the scriptures is
I'm
a
listening.
living will and testament. It's law.
Living will and
Why?
testament.
Yeah,
Come
but
on
they
now.
all living in the blessings of the Lord, bro. Like, go ahead though.
Man. Now, look, I want to read this, and I just sent you the video. You can drop it in the what's this called, the Discord or the Patreon for everybody to go back and watch. But the stuff that we reading off right now, if I don't read a couple of slides, if you want to let one of the ladies and one of the fellas come to the front, because we're in class right now. So if y'all want to help Kev read so he can save his voice, because I know one thing, you got, your voice will get tired after doing something. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to let this
I don't
man
get
build and stuff
tired.
like that. Man, come on now. Then, well, look, Kev, I really want you to take the
But
time.
look,
Not take
but
the
I'm
time.
not
I
even.
want you to.
But look. I've take the time. This is what I do as a living, for a living. I'm talking about
Yes, sir.
Rico. Rico, call me back. Call me back. See, you want me to do something else? Press what? No, Rico, call me back. No, see. Look right here. The benefit of a person presumed lost or abandoned at sea, therefore assumed dead after 7 years. After 7 years. So if you black and you dead the first 7 years of life, 8 year, then you turn into a criminal 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 25. Then so many people get life in prison, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10, 15, 20. Well, in the business world, you are now, press one, presumed dead. In which they can go into your trust, press one. Look at this, and look who it affects. This include bankrupts, which if the nation went bankrupt, that was that. Minors, which is you. Incompetence, press one. People, mortgage, private companies. It is a temporary testamentary trust. And we're going to get to the bottom line of what that even is. But it's just crazy how it's just like, damn, are you looking at the total theft right here, 13, 14 type shit? Are you busting open the trust? Okay, so the children of God. See how I'm going from religious to natural. You see how I'm keeping it? Let's just say I'm gonna call it celestial. I'm going from air to land to sea. We gonna do it if you get to that level. Would you just talking spiritually or what the fuck, nigga? You know, when you see it on the screen, it make more sense. And you've been under Roman law the whole time. So it ain't like you don't know what these words mean on the screen other than trust, like the real complete breakdown of trust. But what does this mean? Four two four 209-9506. Feel free to call in. New callers are welcome. Sir, you gotta hold on a minute. Press one. Give regular people a chance to call in, new people, and they'll be all right. But that just goes to show you that the trust. There's so much trust in the Bible, Trust this and trust that and trust that. And corporately, we are ignorant. We don't even know what's going on or what trustees are supposed to be doing or how to even think about what they're supposed to be doing or what they even supposed to be thinking about. How do you hold trustees accountable? We don't think about that stuff while we're alive. We live a life of entertainment and shit. Self gluttony or whatever is your favorite distraction. Rather than you begging for reparations from where? From your own trust? They should be begging for reparations after you get finished with them. That should be your mindset. When we get done with you legally, you just keep that same motherfucking energy. You're supposed to be on in a legal base of mindset because this is what you're dealing with. This is illegal. Trafficking is illegal. Slave bonds, illegal. But since you don't even know, because like Rico just said, because you don't know how to speak, because you know all the words to the lyrics, man, and no lyrics in this field where lyrics matter. I mean, y'all can get up there and battle rap and scream in each other's face and threaten y'all mamas and kids all day. Cool, it's profitable, cool. But if you don't know this, there's a bigger bag out there. A much bigger bag that affects everybody who was born into bondage. Damn, this is like the Matrix. And you are a slave, Neo. What do you think the architect was talking about with all them numbers, balance sheets, talking all that? You are the what do you call
Unknown
them?
caller.
He pretty much called him a motherfucking number, a motherfucking anomaly, that something that ain't supposed to happen. Coffee and Kush TV, you on the air? What up?
What's going on, Carol? This B calling in, man. Enjoying the show, learning a lot.
What up with it?
If it's cool, you was talking about a testamentary trust. I want to read the definition.
Go ahead, champion.
Okay, it says a testamentary trust is a specific type of trust that's created as part of a last will and testament. It says a grantor, the creator of a trust, leaves instructions in their will for a named executive detailing how their assets are managed by a trustee and distributed to the beneficiaries.
Got you.
So, that's still going in the will, God's will.
Yep.
Everything.
And that's also a charitable trust. It's probably a charitable trust as well because it's welcoming all to take part in the benefits of another will, which was not supposed to be. But go ahead. But that's dealing in natural, right. In our time, that's like the Constitution, where liberty makes its way and everybody is now taken after the codicil. But go ahead. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, pretty much. I just pulled it up and read it. I hadn't went into it, but I've been paying attention to your previous shows talking about the 13th, 14th Amendment, and when it was talking about the 14th Amendment, when they were saying that the rights are purchased, and then another thing that was said was
that's dealing with the life estate, I believe. Somebody check into that, but go ahead.
Yeah, they're saying that the 14th Amendment citizen is not privy to fee simple, meaning they can't own land completely without limitations or conditions. But so let me slow down to be clear. In my mind, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. All right, the actual beneficiaries to the trust, not the 14th Amendment citizens, they have complete, they can't own land completely without limitation or conditions. But When you become a 14th Amendment citizen, that's why you never own nothing, because you got limitations and conditions.
Yeah,
Correct?
well, the real landowner, the real people will have no limitations on what they
Right.
can do, and they can do whatever that they want to. Where I believe
Right.
the life estate is what they were saying. You you are purchasing
Okay.
the
You
the right,
leasing.
and yeah, you're pretty much a tenant. So that's the corporate takeover. Go ahead.
All right. Then I looked at the 13th Amendment, and this came up when I looked at the 13th Amendment, which all right, the 13th Amendment, they were saying it strips the title of the nobles yesterday, and when I looked
So
when I was looking at the
the
13th
13th
Amendment,
Amendment stripped the titles of nobility.
right,
Go ahead.
strips the actual people from from the titles.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
this came up. The word
Oh Lord.
peon, you
Go
know
ahead.
how we call somebody a peon, you weak, you a peon.
Yeah.
But when you become a 13th Amendment citizen, you literally become a peon. It's called peonage, like suffrage. It's peonage, which is a wage laborer.
It's
So
a
you went from a wage laborer, like you going to work for wages. You went from being, high level to brought down low. You're a peon now.
you so you
You got to go to work.
so you was king so you was
You was
kings and
kings and queens,
queens
now
and
you was a
freemen,
peon.
and now you a peon,
You're a peon.
a worker to pay off a debt with work, legally
Right.
peonage.
Wait,
Lord have mercy.
man, when I saw that, I said, good Lord, man, these people cold, they wicked with it. But it's a good thing we learning. God letting us see. Man, pretty much that's what I wanted to bring to the table. Like definitions is like understanding these words and bringing them to a point where it's, I can understand simple.
And that's what it's here for, so we can understand it simple. Because we wouldn't know it if a white man would or some other person would have came about with all of good. It's hard to find people to make our brothers think and understand in a way that they can understand. Very simple, straight to the point. Don't niggas ain't dumb. You just got to explain it.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying? And because we
yeah,
have a hard time interpreting, or because them words we don't really understand. So this
but
right here is something great because we actually getting brothers and sisters to understand these words, so it goes into their minds with understanding. It was like, damn, that means that. Or, yeah. So we've been in
hey,
slavery
you know
by
what?
peonage this whole time. Yeah, 13th
Yep,
Amendment.
yep.
Go ahead.
And you know what I think about being that King George, they established the colonies, and they call the language, like if we speak in language, English language, they call it colloquialism. If we think about it, we the ones who, that's our shit. Excuse my language, so it's just about learning and understanding. I appreciate you pushing brothers like me to step our game up to understand these things. So I gotta say that to you.
It's better warfare too. It's mentally better warfare. It sharpens us up to learn and know more. There's a whole nother playing field we wasn't even thinking about. So yeah, thank you for paying attention. Anything else?
That's it, man. I'm gonna keep taking notes, and I'll be back.
My man, great points, man. B from Texas, my man. Shout out to him. Support to you. Cash app. My cash tag is Gills Gang. Finna read off the supporters of today program. Gotta love them. They give me the motivation to keep doing what we do. Getting up here and talking to Drew. B from Texas. Shout out to him for that contribution to the show. Jason Harris. Shout out to you, King. Shout out to TC. Jason Harris, RT Bell, Bo Cat. Shout out to you guys for keeping this program rolling. If I missed anybody, trust me, I'll get to it. 424-209-9506. Anybody else? Because it's time for me. I got to do my Kev Row Late night with the road, and I went to sleep last night, and I'm not going to sleep tonight. Press one. Hit that like button. So is everybody understanding how you are a slave? Press one. So if you combine this with the legal term of matrix and stuff like that, you will begin to understand the who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how. But even if you don't, we'll be here for you. Coffee and Kush TV, Kev Roll. Shout out to my man Rico, Taj, Brian King. Anybody else? I didn't miss nobody else. Somebody else didn't call. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to people who contribute to this program. Kev Roll, Channel 54, Late Night with the Roll coming up next. And as always, family, I'll holla.